Recording.
Recording.
All right.
Check one, check two, check.
Check. The camera on. All right.
I don't fall off it.
No, I'm a lot taller than you.
That ain't gonna work.
No. Okay, so tell us about what made you decide to do a barn like this?
Well, it all began, as you'll see on the website in the wedding story. My wife and I decided that we were going to buy a piece of property before we got married. We really wanted to get married in a barn because we just liked that look. And as we started to investigate, the cost of that was a lot higher than we anticipated. So we sat down and said, well, why don't we look at building a barn of our own since we have the space, we needed the storage, invest in our own equity at the house rather than pay someone else to get married in their barn that we'll never see again. So this is now the barn that we got married in. And the cost, of course, was all in all more than what it would have cost to just get married in a barn, but we get the equity out of it because the barn will be here for the rest of the life of this property in theory. So that's really what led to the decision.
Cool. What you find yourself remembering your wedding when you come in here?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Obviously it's full of storage and tractors and different things now, so it's not an open space like it was on the wedding day, and it would be difficult to return it to that at this point, given how many shelves and different things that I've put up to make it a functional barn. But absolutely, there's still some. I think there's still some lights hanging in one corner, but yeah, the loft wasn't there. But walking in it on a daily basis, it's hey, this is where it all started for us in our relationship. Not in our. I should say in our marriage.
In your marriage,
in the rest of our relationship.
So,
but yeah, it's pretty cool to say when people visit, right there is where we got married. No kidding, that's pretty cool. Awesome. So yeah, it really, it does give it a different feeling for us knowing that that's what took place in a barn that now just has a bunch of stuff in it. Mostly my stuff.
That's the good thing.
That's the way it should be, right?
Right. Let's see. How did you like working with Michigan Heritage Barns and Barn Keep?
It was great. Probably have to say that because you're standing here. Beta question. No, honestly, I was just like anybody else. You know the story. I'll say it for you folks out there. The hesitation is going to be there in the onset when you're looking at a project of this scale and magnitude. Anyone can put a website together and put a bunch of pretty pictures up and say we're experts at this, but you got to do your homework. And I was no different than anybody else, and I did. I believe that the process for me started in November, the year before we built. And you'll recall this. It was a little ahead of that because I was perusing the interwebs looking for options, and that's when I came across you guys. And the hesitancy was there until I reached out and you and I started to talk. Gave you a call, and I think what impressed both of us in the initial conversation was, I believe maybe your exact words was, "Wow, you've really done your homework, and you seem to already know a lot about the terminology and the process for putting a barn together," which was just my own homework, which was comforting though, because it made it so that you and I could converse on a different level because we were speaking the same language. So, but from that point, it was, I scheduled a visit. We scheduled a visit to a local barn that had been put up, which, for a lot of folks out there, you're not going to be able to do that. Distance is going to be preventative for that, as obviously from where Michigan Heritage Barns is located, the buildings have been erected probably within a closer proximity than someone that's a couple of hours even away. Makes it a little more daunting to put that together. Fortunately for my wife and I, my fiance at the time, we were able to go make a visit about an hour away from here. Aaron met us down there. And that was the first time we laid eyes on a physical structure that had come from Michigan Heritage Barns. And it was a game changer.
Yeah.
and you know this from being there and from seeing other people go through the same process.
Right.
Game changer to be able to walk in and see it with your own eyes, particularly because that was fairly early on, I believe, in your business of actually putting barns together. So that really helped us a lot. But now I don't think the physical census is necessary because there's so many examples that you're able to put on the website to show people different projects, various locations. They're all for real. Here's one right here. Howell, Michigan. Here it is. And so that was the process we had to go through, and then I believe we brought you the down payment on November, I'm going to say 16th. I know it was deer season.
Okay.
Because my father-in-law was with me. We drove up there.
Right. Yeah, you guys are excited.
It was good. But then it was the waiting game, right?
Right.
Because we put the money down in November so we could get logs going in the wintertime.
Yep.
So that was kind of what the process was for us, was just a little bit of research, initial conversations. But the experience from start to finish was good. And then obviously spring came around. You and I started to accelerate the project. We had to wait for the frost restrictions to come off the roads. And semis started to show up.
Good.
Yeah, but far enough away so it's not taking away from the aesthetic of the house and the yard. At the end of the day, it is a barn.
Right.
Our intention will be to eventually paint it, stain it, get it sealed up. But for now, we're going with the weathered look.
I like that.
Yeah, I know you do. My preference is not for weather, but that's just me, But obviously, it'll be well seasoned when we get a coat of stain on it.
Right. Yeah. What year was it that you built?
2013.
2013.
So you get my math right here. Yes.
Okay. So it's 2017 right now, so it's been 4 years.
It's 3.5.
So this is about
4 years
worth of weather.
Yeah, this is, yep.
So do you think that, or was it important to you that the lumber came from Michigan, from right here in the local area?
Yeah. I'm a very proud Michigander, born and raised here. My wife's from Georgia, so she certainly supports anything southern and from Georgia. But we're not in Georgia right now, and we wouldn't source the lumber from anywhere else. So if there's readily accessible timber here in our great state, and we can support those guys that run those industries, then that certainly adds a higher level of satisfaction to the investment. Absolutely. Pouring the money back into our communities. You betcha.
Yeah.
You betcha.
Yeah. Very good.
If you walk my road with no shoes on your feet, probably feel the way I do.